We're looking at a very real possibility of a government shutdown. This is interesting timing for a shutdown because everyone is tuned out of the news. Christmas is around the corner. New Year's is around the corner. People aren't doing work. Half of our staff is probably on a beach in Boca right now. And so this timing isn't the best time to draw attention to the stakes of a shutdown, but it might be the best time to shut it down because people won't really care. You won't catch a lot of political flack, and President Trump might be able to get his wall. That's what this is all about. There have been two distinct responses from the White House about this. As always, the White House is sending different people out on TV, and they have very different tactics on the shutdown. You remember President Trump was arguing with Chuck and Nancy on the best reality television show in the world, and he said to Chuck Schumer, "I'll own it. I'll take responsibility for the shutdown. I will shut down the government to protect our border." And Democrats were thrilled because they got Trump to say that he was going to shut down the government. The question is, do you take responsibility for it, or do you try to say that it's really the Democrats' fault and really the Democrats are shutting down the government? Stephen Miller clearly favors the former approach. Here he is on Face the Nation.
To get to this question of the border wall, which I know you're a huge advocate for, we are about 5 days from potential government shutdown, and Republican leadership says there's no plan. What is the president's plan, and will he shut it down to get this $5 billion in border wall funding?
We're going to do whatever is necessary to build the border wall to stop this ongoing crisis of illegal immigration.
And that means
this is a very, if it comes to it, absolutely. This is a very fundamental issue. At stake is the question of whether or not the United States remains a sovereign country, whether or not we can establish and enforce rules for entrance into our country. The Democrat Party is a simple choice. They can either choose to fight for America's working class or to promote illegal immigration. You can't do both.
Is there...
Totally comes out swinging. This guy, one of the best people in the administration, and he's coming out and saying, yep, we'll shut it down. We own it. That's what's going to happen because we want to protect the border. The reason I favor this Trump and Stephen Miller approach, one is I don't think voters actually punish politicians for shutting down the government. We had a big government shutdown in 2013, and then Republicans took the Senate in 2014. They blamed the Republicans in 2013. A year later, they win the Senate. I don't see evidence of that throughout recent history, but this is the approach that Ronald Reagan took. There was a famous moment during the Reagan presidency where the air traffic controllers, federal workers, decided that they were going to go on strike. And this was illegal. It was illegal for these guys to go on strike. It disrupted the nation's airways. It disrupted a lot of travel. And they're federal employees. They're not allowed to do that. They went on strike anyway after a long time negotiating with the government. Everyone thought Reagan was going to cave. Well, Nancy, we want to keep everybody on the job, but well, he didn't do that at all. Ronald Reagan stood firm. He gave exactly the same approach to great effect.
It is for this reason that I must tell those who fail to report for duty this morning they are in violation of the law, and if they do not report for work within 48 hours, they have forfeited their jobs and will be terminated.
Why not some lesser action at this point?
What lesser action can there be? The law is very explicit. They are violating the law. And as I say, we called this to the attention of their leadership. Whether this was conveyed to the membership before they voted to strike, I don't know. But this is one of the reasons why there can be no further negotiation while this situation continues.
Classic Reagan, and this is where that great acting training that Reagan had came into play, where the reporter says, isn't there some lesser action you can undertake? He says, what lesser action can there be? They violated the law. And he was absolutely right. They're violating the law. They forfeit their jobs. They will be terminated. That was the right approach. It broke that union as it should have. It certainly should have broken the federal union. He stood firm and he won. This is a winning issue for Republicans. CBS poll shows 51% of Americans, the majority of Americans, want a border wall.